Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report Newsbreak. Well, hey, I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I hope your weekend has been wonderful. But there's a lot going on in the news, and I'm telling you, there's a lot going on. We have wars everywhere. Um, we have BRICS nations challenging the US dollar. And this presidential election is crazy. It's heating up. Um, Definitely something has to be done about the this lady yelling in this kid's face, uh, right on camera. That's not right. If you guys know who this lady is, I'm telling you, that's the kind of stuff that we do not need in our rhetoric. There's ideas that can be passed and shared. Everybody's not right. Doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. Um, and the national anthem for the third party presidential debate. Oh my God. It makes you think, was that a sabotage? It was so bad and it was so disrespectful. Anyways, I have all the clips. Everything I'm talking about, I have all the clips. So let's get into the clips. Thank you guys. Comment. Definitely will keep you guys updated on the Little Dirk situation, on the Diddy situation, on all the situations. Anything that's news, anything that you're talking about, we'll be sure to keep you updated on that. So comment, comment, comment. That spreads the show. Get your ideas out there. We appreciate you. And hey, this is WD3 and your Hill Report Newsbreak. Let's get into some clips.
Can I go back, please? I got too nervous.
That's American artist Loomis, who was invited to sing the US national anthem at the free and equal presidential debate between three independent presidential nominees. But she missed the high note and asked to start again during the live broadcast. Since then, Loomis has apologized in a video she posted on Instagram explaining that she was nervous. While a lot of comments are comparing Loomis to Fergie's version of the national anthem from 2018, which was also critiqued, people have also defended Loomis, saying despite the mess up, she's actually a talented singer.
We are grabbing back the pen. We are grabbing back the pen. That pen to forge a new path with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. We are grabbing back the pen to write a new American story, a story of community, of equality, strength, of kindness, and of hope. When I was a little girl, and I pledged allegiance to the United States of America, that meant something to me. That flag meant something to me. And today, that means grabbing that pen and casting my vote, as I already did 2 days ago, for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz.
It's a bit tragic that when you go to the United States, you see a crumbling infrastructure. You see bridges collapsing in Pittsburgh. You see bridges collapsing in Baltimore. And you wonder, why are you spending so much money on aircraft carriers, fighting unnecessary wars like Iraq, when you have much more pressing needs at home? And indeed, surprisingly, a relatively conservative American thinker like Niall Ferguson has said in a recent article that we Americans are the Soviets now. And he's right, because if you look at it, in the old Soviet Union, what was striking was declining life expectancy. In the United States today, declining life expectancy. In the old Soviet Union, rising infant mortality. In the United States, rising infant mortality. In the old Soviet Union, stagnant living standards for the bottom 50%. In the United States, stagnant living standards for the bottom 50%. It's actually quite striking. So in a country that has so many domestic challenges, why not spend the time and effort to rebuild your own society? Because at the end of the day, as George Kennan said, when talking about the Cold War, and I mentioned this in my book, Has China Won?
I remember.
That the outcome of the war will be determined not by your military weapons, but by the spiritual vitality of your own society. And American society is clearly a very deeply troubled society. Only a deeply troubled society would re-elect a man like Donald Trump as president. And then by contrast, if you look at China, if you go to China, you'll be stunned by the infrastructure that you see there. And the living standards of the Chinese people have improved more in the past 30 years than they have in the past 3,000 years. So that's the real battle. So if the United States could focus more on improving the living standards of its people, less on projecting power overseas, it would be better for the United States and maybe even better for the world.
Here's where I stand. When I look at Kamala's ancestry, and let me be clear about something. Whether she's black or not black ain't my biggest issue. Is what she going to do for black people.
Right.
The reason Kamala's race has become such a big issue in this election, Brother Nick, is because it's the only thing they're selling the black community in exchange for their vote. So the only thing they've given us has been identity politics. Stay with me.
Okay.
You follow me? Not a word about schools, not a word about prisons, not a word about gentrification, not a word about police extermination, not a word about economic apartheid. All we're hearing is she's a black woman and we should vote for her. If she led with policy, Nick,
Right.
I don't even think we would be talking about her racial ancestry if she led with policy. Donald Trump is not black. He's not claiming to be. So there's no need to talk about Donald Trump's ancestry. We can stick to what? Donald Trump's policies.
Right.
But because the black bourgeoisie that is surrounding Kamala Harris is telling black America to vote just because she's black, automatically that means what? We have to make sure she is black.